I'm not sure what this video is here, other than about some mud. I just have this feeling I should turn the camera on right now. So I'm just going with it. There wasn't a specific reason. I was like, yeah, I don't need to make another video about clam beds and mud at the moment, but and I just have this strange sensation of something, and I looked at the water and it had weird little tiny rippled waves going across the surface, which it still does to some degree. I mean, if you look at it, there's the larger waves, and then on top of those, in between them, you see the tiny little waves, which may be considered standing waves. I don't know. In a way, it seems like all waves are standing waves until they encounter something. Because they just go up and down like AC power, you know. The wave goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up and down, right around the wire, but nothing happens until you connect a load. I guess with the water moves up and down. That's the ability to see the wave, but when it reaches something that you can actually observe it breaking. A lot of little shellfish. I guess I'm in a clam bed, but there's these little spiral ones too. There's one right there. See that? Fibonacci. I bet you if you took one of these shells, you could make an impeller out of it. Look at that spiral, that goes way down. There's a bigger one over here I was just looking at. I should find one of those, it's easier to see. There's several around here. It's got to be a bigger one. Enough clams to make clam chowder. Oh, this mud feels so nice. I can feel like tension, energy release, and it's going down my legs, like the core of my bones, or just the tension is going down through the bottom of my feet into the ground and probably off into the water. Where's a nice shell here? This sort of fish with your shadowfish. Gotta be a big one somewhere. Somewhere. There's just gotta. My head's getting itchy on top. I have a new take on the old, that sensation, the static feeling on my skin, especially on any hairs, right, that are having issues. And it's basically this. You get the sensation if you're sensitive enough to it, if you have, good working senses and haven't had them messed up by immunizations and doctors and their treatments and pills and crap. Well, the story is that the chemtrail particles are antennas that connect together into long chains inside your body due to a fungus that grows them. And the growth of this fungus, the fungus and the particles are everywhere, so the fungus, picks them up at your cerebrospinal fluid, joint fluid, so it's through your whole body. And it grows outward towards the electrical charge, which is coming from the antenna that's tuned to the wavelength of the particle. The particles are antennas. They have a certain wavelength. You broadcast high energy electrical signal at that wavelength. Those particles will become electrified and heat up as well as be electrified. So this signal being sent out excites those antennas. And the point where the Wi-Fi signal, let's call it, or the 5G signal, or whatever frequency signal is being used, radio wave, microwave, I can't say for sure. I'm thinking microwave personally, and 5G. you're going to feel it at the point of contact. And the point of contact is going to be at your skin surface, where the nanofiber antenna is growing out of your pores. I've heard some more professional people talking about. Sorry, I think it was possible. He was talking about the shape of your sweat ducts on your skin, and they're identical to the shape of like a helical antenna. But anyway, so it's the point of contact. The wireless signal is broadcast out, and it hits your body, and where it makes contact is at the skin surface, where what is there to meet it? Nothing but a billion ultra microscopic wireless antennas growing out of everywhere. If you've been overtaken by this stuff, your hair is all white. So when you see these people with all white hair, men and women too, if they have white hair, if it's a man, he's got white hair, white beard, white mustache, one white goatee, white hair in his arms and stuff, white hair on his balls, white hair fucking everywhere. If you got white hair and you don't really have any of the physical Morgellons type issues, your body didn't reject it, and you've been completely overtaken by it. And now you can't really know if your thoughts and feelings are your own at that point, because the AI computer can record brainwave patterns and whatever sensation or feeling or thought you're having when it's recorded can be beamed back to you through those antennas, and you'll re-experience that sensation. Look at the dog. He's still over there. There he goes. U-turn. There he goes back again. That dog has got some dedication. But anyway, okay, so the point of contact is where the signal reaches your skin, and that's why the static sensation is static sensation. It's the path of least resistance from the antenna that has become charged to the source of the signal, which is the airplane flying over beaming the signal, or proximity to the Wi-Fi towers sending out their signal, or proximity to the power lines which have been overlaid with the signal, or anything. You're near anything that's connected to a grid electrically, you're potentially within range of the signal. And when the 5G is completed and there's a 5G send-receive panel every 180 feet in every direction in your entire city, I guess what that means is that we won't have the right to not be microwaved at all times. You have the right to free speech, and you have the right to keep and bear arms, and you have the right to assemble and ask for your grievances to be addressed as long as you're in the free speech zone. But you don't have the right to not be microwaved 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you don't have the right to have clean air, nor clean water particularly, nor clean food. And it's taken all of this effort to get us to the point we're at now, where we're not living very long lives. And people are ready to die by the time they're 65 because they're so loaded with toxins, it's painful to be alive. And they think it's normal. They've been told it's normal. Oh, it's just a regular accumulation of buildup. It's just getting old. Don't be a wussy now. You're just getting old. Stop crying about your white hair and your rheumatoid arthritis. You're just getting old. It's perfectly normal. Look, everybody else deals with it, right? Perfectly normal. Hey, fuck you, faggy McFuckplane. There goes another one. Commando Solo disguised as Alaska Air. I'm going to take off in my airplane and fly over people's homes all day. It's a lot of fun. And when those planes take off, you see the bubbles? When those planes take off, bubbles from the clams, and there's another one going by over there. Oh, and he's banking off the other direction. I bet they're twins. Anyway, when the high-powered microwave planes go over, I've been at this river enough now to notice, my head feels all like the Wi-Fi antennas connecting, the thing I'm talking about. And down in the water, the clams just give up the bubbles. Or something's bubbling under the water. And the dog is making a lap. And there he turned around and he's going back again. I don't know, for like almost a half hour, that dog has been doing that continuously the whole time. There's no sign of his master anywhere. He's just running back and forth. Look at the waves. Got a good wave. You know, what if the air is electric? Air itself. We think of it as a solid thing because we believe we live in a material world. But we are part of the electrical world. And so it's normal to us, the other aspects of the electrical world. I mean, it's all electric. We just don't realize that. We think it's something separate from electricity as we think about it. And so, you know, we are electric beings walking around in a gigantic electrostatic field, which we call air. And within this electrostatic field, there's a lot of varying frequencies of static charges with tiny particles, and we call these molecules. There's a hydrogen charged molecule and an oxygen charged molecule and a nitrogen charged molecule, and all of these molecules keep their individuality in a gaseous state, and they float around, and we think it's a gas. It's just something different from an electrical energy field, but it's not. It's just that we're made of the same energy. It seems normal to us, so we don't view it as something separate from our experience. It's a molecule. It's water. It's air. It's dirt. It's rocks. It's metal. No, it's electrical units, little tiny units, molecules, and then atoms. Supposedly, you know, you can't totally trust mainstream science. They tell some truth and some lies and mix them together. Well, they know the whole truth, most likely, but we don't. We're told things that can be tested, and it makes it seem true, but it's not the full story, ever. Anyway, I digress. These are just my thoughts on it. You know? Electric air in an electric universe. We're electric creatures. Electricity goes takes the path of least resistance. You know? And so when I get the sensations on my skin, it's because that happens to be the most conductive path that the energy from the 5G, when it hits the antennas growing in my body, which are coming out in the white hairs, white blades. And what was I saying there? Okay, the path of least resistance. And that's where the first place I feel it is. So it's generally on the top of the head or near the upper area if the signal's coming from above, which it oftentimes is. I think that's what's keeping my joints all bulged out in this stupid fucking... I mean, it doesn't hurt, it just never goes away. I put some iodine on there, and the iodine is like stayed for 2 days now. Hey, what do we got here? Oh, it's Happy McAirplane. Howdy, folks. I got a great job flying airplanes now that I'm out of the Air Force. I get to fly my plane and stay close to home. It's a free air show for everybody. I'm gonna fly around over your house all day and microwave you. Don't worry, you won't notice anything too much. And just think of the nice doctors you get to meet when you get your cancer diagnosis. It'll be wonderful. I'm creating the jobs of the future today. The jobs of the future are cancer treatments and hospice care. Get your kids training today. Soon they'll be taking care of you while you die of cancer. And then when they die of cancer, their kids will be taking care of them if they're still able to reproduce and haven't become sterile from the 5G frying their gonads and their ovaries. This message brought to you by the Department of Homeland Security, who reminds you, nothing weird going on here. Just go back to surfing the internet, America. Good night.